Hey singers, welcome back to the weekly warm-up. I'm Laura. Here on the channel, I love to share clear, fun voice education to help you improve your singing and enjoy it more. Now, I said this is to make it more enjoyable, but today is the tough love edition. I'm going to ask you to do something that you might be a little uncomfortable doing, and that is singing fast passage work. You can call it coloratura, runs, melismas, whatever. But what we're talking about here is those rapid sequences of short notes which force your voice to move quickly. This is something that is very challenging to do for a lot of singers, and so they just avoid it. Now, I've made videos about how to sing runs and coloratura, but the fact is the people who are seeking out those videos are people who are actually singing music that requires that. And I know a lot of singers who, if they're not required to do that kind of singing, they do not include it in their practice. And unfortunately, if that's you, you are really missing out because fast passage work has tremendous technical and mental benefits. Here are the technical benefits of fast passage work. In order to be successful in singing rapid passages, you must regulate your breath so that it flows evenly. You must sing on that breath support rather than using muscle to press the voice, and you must release tension. Any lack in one of those areas is going to cause irregularity in the speed of the line or an inability to actually get it sped up to the tempo that you want to go. So it's really important to kind of have those things in order to be successful. And so what I think a lot of singers think about this is, okay, well then if I'm a beginner and I'm not confident, I'm just going to work on my breath, work on my support, and work on my tension. And then when I'm a better singer, then I'll start singing faster music. But the fact is, you can also, by starting to do that rapid passage work in your home practice, you can start to kind of find your way toward breakthroughs and progress in those areas. If you just say, okay, I admit, I don't know how to do it, I don't feel confident, but I will sing these rapid scales, you will start to find that you actually just start to find a way, that what seemed impossible starts to just work, maybe in little bits and pieces, and that is going to really help you to progress that breath, that support, and that lack of tension. So this is kind of, instead of trying to sort of push from behind, you can draw out the result by just requiring yourself to move faster in your home practice, and the technique will come along. The mental benefits are twofold. First, if you're someone who really overthinks, if you have sort of memorized every piece of advice I've ever given you, and on every note you sing, you're trying to get your tongue right, and your palate right, and your posture right, and your lip right, and you're trying to sing the right vowel, it is very likely that you are very in your head and constantly getting overwhelmed with all the things that you're asking yourself to do. And the fact is that while it is great to know how to tinker with your technique, there comes a time when you have to just sing. And so singing rapidly moving passages in your practice is a great place to actually experience that. The second way that fast passage work is really, really helpful for the mental experience of singing is that if you're someone who consistently doubts yourself, and I see so many singers who are like this, who always sing sort of with a cringing look on their face, like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if what I'm doing is right. I'm not even sure if these are the right notes. I know that there are many of you who are singing in that way, and it's not that fun. Now, while it might be scary to try and sing something really fast and a passage that may seem at first to be complicated, when you're going to do this, and if you tell yourself, I will do this fast passage and I will do it fast, I'm just going to do it, not practice it slow and then speed it up, but I'm just going to practice it fast. What you are requiring yourself to do is to audiate, to hear it in your head, to decide what the notes are, decide what you're going to sing, and then execute it. And that is so powerful. Number one, for building up that skill of audiation, but number two, for improving your confidence. So if you need technical improvement, if you're overthinking, if you don't feel confident, for any one of these reasons, please start to include fast passage work into your practice. And I'm going to show you an exercise that I think makes it just about as simple as it can be. So let's get into it. So the exercise is simply a 5-note scale followed by a 9-note scale. Now we'll get into the pitches in just a second, but first I want to teach you the words. One of the major challenges with singing rapid passages is that we tend to feel like we're sort of losing control. Sometimes our voices sort of slide up and down, or it's hard for us to sort of discern when we're on one note and then on the next one. And so because I don't want you to kind of start grabbing up, I'm going to ask you to change the vowel on each note. So the words or sounds that we'll be making in this exercise are ooh, 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 ooh. Now, I want you to make ooh the active sound, and by that I mean I want you to move your lips into a circle for the ooh, and then just release them for the e. Instead of making the ooh, a neutral, and then spreading the lips for e. So what we're not doing is but ooh. So the lips are active on the ooh, pushing forward, pushing into that circle. Let's try that together. We're just going to alternate. Ooh. Try that with me. Ooh. Now let's go a little faster. Ooh. Great. Do you feel spreading happening on the E? Just one more time, make sure that on the E's, we are really releasing the lips so that they are coming to a neutral E position. Ready? At this speed, and go. Let's learn the notes now. I said we would start with a 5-note scale. That's starting on do and going up to sol. So it's going to be a quick 5-note scale up and down on ooh, like this. Ooh. Try that with me. We are not going to learn it slowly. So if you want to hear it one more time, ooh. Okay, so now we're going to do it together at that speed. Ready? And go. Ooh. One more time. Let's go. Ooh. Should we try it one more time? Let's go. Ooh. Great. Let's now learn the second half of the exercise. Same words, but now we're going to go, instead of up to the 5th, we're going to the 9th and then back down. So it's going to sound like this. I'm going to show it to you 2 times. So listen carefully. That's it. Here's one more example. So if you're familiar with solfege, we're going to re on the top, all the way up to high do, and one more. Great, we're going to do that together. Ready? And here's our tempo. 9-note scale. One more time. And last time for just this part. Great. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put the 5-note and the 9-note together. No breath in between, just continuing right on. I'll demonstrate. Ready? And it'll sound like this. Ready? With me. Great. So now what we're going to do is we are going to start going up by half steps. Now, on each one, I will play the new key before we start. So we're starting here, and I will give you a clear new key before we begin. But stick with me. If something gets lost, if you kind of wipe out along the way, take a breath, come in on the next repetition. Okay, here we go. Ready? And here we go. Here. One more. Okay, so I could feel there were points where it was uneven. The key is to just keep going. Your voice will become more supple, you'll become more used to it. And part of it that is very important is actually also keeping the breaths in between also in rhythm, so that your body can really acclimate to this idea that the whole time you're singing, you're using your breath, you're engaging the support, the breath goes out the whole time, and then you have that quick recovery when you can let the air in and take in that released, kind of unencumbered breath. So I really encourage you to do this. Don't slow it down. Just hear it in your head and then do it. It takes some courage, but working on that in your practice is really going to start to build up benefits. And they will be benefits that you will see even if you never sing repertoire that contains this kind of fast music. So keep going with it. I have a video that I made about a more advanced technique when you actually are starting to get more comfortable with this. So I will go ahead and put that up in the cards. But in the meanwhile, thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope that this was useful. If you have questions, do put them in the comments. I would love to answer them, and I would love to hear if there are other questions on your mind about singing. In the meanwhile, thank you for singing with me. I would so appreciate a thumbs up, a subscription to the channel so that we can sing together next week. And in the meanwhile, thanks for practicing.